what helps me a lot is remembering that it's not about me. It's just so much easier to be doing and to keep going when I am aware in my mind and in my heart that there are people who might need to hear what you have to say. There's more to your music than yourself.
Hi, welcome back to Soul. Today we're with singer-songwriter Cami, and we talk about how when you're authentic with your own voice, you can be a voice for others too. And this is also the first episode where I openly cry, so stay tuned for that. Let's go.
Like a river. Tina Turner is dead.
What?
Yeah, Tina Turner
When?
is dead. Like kanina.
Huh?
Yeah.
No.
Yo. She's like 84.
I
and
guess
then,
just about time.
yeah.
But parang...
I know.
From what?
Such an icon. She had like a long-term disease daw.
Were you a big fan?
I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but like definitely her songs
Yeah,
are so
definitely.
iconic that I
For
think
sure.
no matter where you are
For
in the
sure.
generational thing, you really just, you know her, you know?
Well, thanks for being on the show.
Of course.
Great to have you, Camille.
Of course.
And you just, well, not just, but like 3 months ago, you released the At Huli
Was
music
it 3
video.
months ago na?
I mean, on YouTube, like I was stalking
yeah,
earlier,
yeah.
and then it said 3. How does it feel?
So fast. It was so hectic. Honestly, releasing At Huli was difficult. It was the first time I did a music video. First time I even did like a live gig to release it. A lot of firsts. Like first time ko mag-work with the producer all the way in Baguio.
Wow.
So yeah, which was impromptu. Like when we recorded At Huli, I was actually in Baguio for my family.
Okay.
Like we were there for New Year. Yeah, and then like my manager randomly calls me and goes like, "Yo, you're there." And I was like, yes. He was like, "Wait, let me call Sinashad, who's the producer." And he was like, "Let me call Sinashad and see if they're available. Record ka na now, ask." So I'm like, "Wait lang, I have to make paalam."
Galing.
This is like a family vacation. You know, you're Pinoy. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you even say that you're leaving them? But thank God na pinayagan naman ako. So, and like we finished the song in 1 day.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
They finished
Did
like
you
the
also did the
arrangement,
instrumentation and stuff?
They did. He
Okay,
did.
okay,
They're really
okay.
good. Sobrang galing nila, as in super.
The writing came
The
from you.
writing, yeah. Writing melody was me. But parang in terms of the arrangement ng piano, keys
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff, yeah.
It came from like when you said that it was hard and super hectic. Like I mean that was the first thing that you said. So it sounds like you it was a passion project talaga.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Parang even if it was hard, it was worth it.
Yes, I would definitely say so. And it was a lot of like, I think it was a lot of firsts and it was a lot of trying something new and just not knowing if anything was gonna work out or not.
Yeah.
And just really trusting the process, trusting hopefully like people show up, or like trusting that you know, this song would be something that people could digest and enjoy for themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The turnout was really good.
I
Yeah.
hope so.
How about conceptualization? Like, what's it like to conceptualize a music video? Kasi you go through like different scenes, right?
Actually, it wasn't me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't have an idea for a music video. But I wanted one. I wanted to try, you know, and it was one of my goals talaga this year. Like January, I really like put it down my notebook. I was like, okay, music video. I want to go out of my comfort zone, you know, see if we even have funding for this, like what I can do and all that. And then my boyfriend does music videos. And of course, he was like, I'm here.
Right.
Like you can, I'm willing to do your music video. Sino pa ba gagawa? I'm here na. So I was like, okay, I kind of have no choice because he's there.
Yeah.
So in terms of conceptualizing, it was more like I just said what the essence of the song was, and he built the whole idea of like going
Galing.
through time.
Galing.
That represented the first and the last, yung una at huli. So yeah.
Galing, yun pala
Galing,
yun. That's why it goes through different like time, like
Yes.
moments in time.
Yes.
Galing.
Yeah. we wanted it to feel nostalgic because my initial parang my initial thought with At Huli, sa recording pa lang, in terms of production, I wanted it to feel like an old song. Yeah, like the inspiration was like a like a classic, and I wanted to kind of have that feeling of nostalgia talaga. So he was able to like bring that into visual form, which is the music video. Yeah.
What's it like collaborating one with your boyfriend and then collaborating like you have a whole community that backs you up eh? Kasi I know that you had a fundraiser for the music video.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah. That was a step of faith. That was scary, to be honest, because I've never done anything like that, and I don't know how people would feel or think if I did that. And so that was nerve-wracking kasi it's like to be able to pull off what we pulled off, it's a lot. It's a lot of money that we didn't have. I personally did not have. Pero I really was like, you know what? There's no harm in trying. Like, all I lose is pride, you know? And that's a great thing to lose, diba? So parang all I lose is pride. All I need, I just need to be humble enough to say that if you guys want to help, I need help, right? And so we were like, sige, I talked it out with my label management, and they were like, yeah, sige, go for it. And so I did it, and to my surprise, so many people helped.
That's cool.
And I was like, I think I was going by days where I'm like, oh my gosh, Lord, kulang pa rin. And then suddenly somebody would give, and then suddenly somebody would call and stuff. And I'd really like, wow, like we have more than I even thought that we'd be able to have. Yeah.
That sounded like your big adventure for the first half of this year.
Yeah. Definitely. It's not as glamorous as it sounds, as it looks with the final project and result of everything. But it was a good thing in a way where I realized pwede pala yun. Like pwede pala the step in faith and things turn out well, you know, and to not know or to not have all the control, but still make it out
Do you
of
have
it.
any like big takeaways from the whole adventure?
Oh, my goodness, what was my big takeaway?
It can be a small one, like a moment, a memory, you know.
Memory. You know what? I think it was humbling to realize that people really believed in the craft, in what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I think that's something that I get scared. I was like scared about. Na people were investing in something that wasn't worth it. Like I was afraid that what I was releasing wasn't gonna be worth people's pagod, people's money and everything that they invested in it. But there was a moment where so many of the people I was working with and the people who helped talaga in the fundraising were talking to me, and they really were telling me, you know, we really do believe in you. And you don't have to feel guilty for the help you're getting.
Wow.
Yeah, because I remember, like, there was a time talaga where I felt so bad. And I felt like if this didn't work out, I failed them. I failed the people who were helping me.
Yeah.
Who were there and all that. But then it was just so humbling. Like, so humbling to think na people just love you, period. Like, they weren't really asking for anything in return. There were people in that set who just volunteered. I kid you not.
Galing.
Not everybody was even paid
Galing.
to be there, but they were like, oh, they volunteered to be there. And they were like, yeah, it's okay. Like, let me know how I can help. And so it was just such a humbling experience talaga.
What's that journey like? Parang as an artist, you have something in your heart. We'll get into songwriting in a bit, but this song so powerful, and then it's translated into a visual form. and sometimes you feel you don't even believe in it enough that other people will believe in it the same way that you do. And so it becomes like an up and down and an ebb and flow and a
Yeah.
roller coaster. But on the days when you don't feel it, how do you come to regain that internal strength?
I go back to why I do it. And I think one of the things I've really put a lot of importance in is commitment. Like, even when I'm not feeling it, I'm committed to this. You know, I think, like, deep down, I always end up making the decision that's toward the craft, that is toward this career, that's toward music. Like, I don't know, it's not, it's just there, always
Right.
there, and I can't deny my what I love, parang ganon. And it's every time I'm discouraged, or every time I want to give up na, what helps me a lot is remembering that it's not about me alone. I think it's just so much easier to be doing and to keep going when I am aware in my mind and in my heart that there are people who might need to hear what you have to say, or there's more to your music than yourself. And I think that's beautiful. Parang I think that's motivation enough for me na okay, I'm gonna keep going because there's when I write music, I realize my goal with music is for that people will be seen. Like, cause I thought, parang empathy. Everybody talks about empathy, diba? Telling stories, ganyan. That's part of it, sobrang part of it. But I think on a personal note, I just want people to feel seen. And if I stop, who's gonna feel seen? Like, if I don't, release this song, sayang talaga. Parang nasasayangan ako sa potential ng song to be something personal and something, deeply important to somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's something I go back to. Yeah.
So related question. You were talking about the songs themselves now being a way to give a voice to someone, to people who they don't feel seen or they want to be heard. What does the craft of songwriting mean to you? Maybe related to that, maybe not. But then you're so obviously committed to it, and you so obviously have a motivation, like an intrinsic why, right behind that. So what's songwriting to you?
Songwriting to me, oh my goodness. I don't know. It comes to me as naturally as like talking. I don't know. It's a songwriting is just basically my heart speaking. Like my inner emotions, my experiences, my burdens, my the things I cry for also. Like, this craft is more than just an art, or more than just like a career. It's really a personal thing that I think also has gotten me personally through so many things. And I think that's why I see it as such a powerful tool to give somebody else, is because I've seen it move in my life in a way where it's music, songs have been with me through many moments in my life, happy, sad, and songwriting was I thought that was so cool that I could say something in the form of a song that could bring feeling and weight. I don't know. There's something about it. It's just like my best friend.
Yeah, and we're in such like a fast-paced world where on a normal day you scroll through Twitter, words don't mean as much.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But then when you put them into melody and then you accompany them with other instruments that bring out emotion, and then you repeat certain words, you know, in a chorus or whatever, like it just gives more weight. Has there been, and we talked previously about 3 songs, right? I Will, Be Enough Again, and Para Sa Imo. Has there been a song either that you've written, maybe one of the 3, or a song that you might even remember listening to written by someone else, like in your childhood, during a tough time, that exemplified, wow, yeah, music and songwriting, especially the lyricism, can really help me get through some, you know, tough times?
Yeah, definitely. So many. Honestly, like, there are artists like Sarah Bareilles who I really, really love. Tori Kelly. Tori Kelly's what's that song again? The one where she speaks about depression.
Is that the song?
The enemies against me. Yeah, that one. It is well with my soul. Yeah. I think like that's one of the songs that I go back to from time to time, or like from in moments of just like difficulty. More songs like, I don't know if you're aware of Dodie.
Yeah.
Dodie, I love Dodie, and I think Dodie has a way of encapsulating like her just emotions in a way that you just, I don't know, it just feels so raw and honest. And I think those raw and honest songs are the ones that really get me through a lot of what I go through. It's and you know, it's not even the motivational songs.
Yep.
Actually, I prefer the ones that are brutally honest. Yeah.
What's the most honest song you've ever written?
What's the most honest song I've ever written? Oh my goodness. Be Enough Again. Yeah. Kasi, so it's an unreleased. I don't think I'll ever release it, to be honest. Kasi it's nothing complex. It's super simple. But I wrote that song in the middle of a breakdown. I wrote that song in the middle of a breakdown because I wanted to give up music. Yeah, and then that song makes me cry every time, so I don't like to sing it. But it was a time where I felt like music for me had no future na. And I was so insecure. I was super afraid. I don't know where I was lost in my life. I don't know what's going on. Ganyan. And so I wrote the song called Be Enough Again. And it was all about how I don't think I'll ever be enough or feel enough again for this. But the lyrics, it's so obvious that I was not gonna give up music in the lyrics, because sa chorus ba, sa bridge, I made it, it goes, if you're hearing this song, I guess I made it all alone. I'm gonna cry. You know, stuff like that. Like, I guess I pushed through dreaming, I pushed through believing, parang ganon. And the idea, I think what was going on in my head when I was writing it that time was, if I am able to sing this live someday, I must have pushed through.
That's so cool. That's so good.
Yeah, and I pictured that. I remember, I'm not gonna cry, but I remember picturing that and saying, you know what, like, if this song, I want to play this song someday. Like, if I keep going and I get to play this song, that's like a miracle. Especially during that time, because I wanted to give it up, diba? So parang, to me, it would have taken a miracle to have been able to sing that someday. Parang ganon. So yeah.
Have you ever performed it live?
Actually, live stream.
Oh, cool.
I have. Yeah, I have. Luckily enough.
Are you planning to
Thank
perform
God.
it live again one day soon?
Sana.
Or you'll wait for the right moment?
I think I'll wait for the right arrangement kasi in terms of like the melody and everything, I'm not like happy with it. It just means a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so that was really good.
Sorry.
No, it's good. Have you ever written any bad songs?
Yeah, so many. It's like if I have 50 songs, I'm pretty sure like 40 is bad and 10 is good. Or like, it's not always a great song. Or sometimes it's like I like it, but I don't think anybody else will like it.
What's the line for you? Like, how do you draw the line na parang, okay, this... Because, I mean, I'm pretty sure most of the artists who are listening, like, we all make bad stuff, like, and that's part of the process. You draft stuff and then like it sucks, but that's how you hone your skills and your practice.
Yeah.
Where do you draw the line and say, okay, this is actually pretty good?
Where do I draw? I think it's just my preference, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, like, there's no bad music per se. It's just what you prefer. Like, am I proud of the lyrics just as much as I'm proud of the melody? And what kind of hits home run for me is when I can picture it arranged. If I can't picture it arranged, I'm kind of like, it's just practice song, or it was fun, ganyan. And so yeah, that's mostly like personally that's no. But I do have like people there to kind of ask. I'm like, okay, do you think this is a good song? And with keeping in mind that it might not be their preference. So, iba pa kasi when I write it in my guitar versus when I give it na to a producer. So, for example, with At Huli, I just had like ideas.
Yeah.
I had a peg. I knew what I wanted it to sound like, but they really gave life to it and its own like identity, parang ganon. So, yeah.
How much of it do you write for yourself versus for other people?
The initial writing is for me. Like, I always tell sina Ate Aina, I'm like, you know what? I'm already satisfied and fulfilled the moment I finish a song.
That's awesome.
Everything I do after that is for everybody else.
Wow.
And parang that's kind of how I operate. Where masaya na ako na nakasulat ako ng kanta, and when I think about the music video, how I'm gonna post this on my social media, when I'm gonna release, what I have in mind is everybody else.
Yeah.
It's yours now. Like, I was already so happy just writing, not gonna lie. And when I curate like my postings, I'm like, okay, how can I, for example, like when I release When I Fall, I wanted my marketing to not feel too much like marketing. I wanted it to be something that people could, for example, post a story nila and it's something that they relate to or something they want to say also. I didn't want it to be just like, pre-save, ganyan. Of course it's there, but also like I wanted to look like a movie scene, and they're like words that you can like repost, so I'm really thinking about that, when we release At Huli, I'm thinking how can people use this as a reel, we're thinking about all those things like and all that, so I'm beyond writing it, it's yours.
Yeah, it's like your gift to the world.
It's like,
exactly, I had my own special personal time with it, and now let me wrap it in a box, let me tie a ribbon. That's like precisely. And then I'll give it to the world. You're giving a lot of good gifts to the world.
I hope so.
Yeah, they're really good.
I'm trying.
What's your favorite part of the whole process? So, first, actually, are you a melody first or a lyrics first writer?
I'm a chords first writer.
Okay, I like.
Yeah. So I need chords. I need like a chord progression that I like. Guitar or piano, but mostly guitar. I'm not proficient in piano. Sorry. I really wish. I really tried. But, I can do basic chords on the piano. So I do chords and then figure out what do I want to say figure out, sometimes I start with an idea, actually. I have a song called Paboritong Kaibigan, and it started with an idea. I had like this idea way back in high school where I was like, you know what? Di ba may mga, parang, we have this term called crush ng bayan.
Yeah.
Like, what if there's also another term, kaibigan ng bayan? You know, those people who are just like everybody's friend.
Right.
But nobody likes somehow in that way. So, you know, it started with that idea. And then I was like, okay, how do I put this in a song? And I think, okay, what's a funny like chord progression? Or what sounds right for the topic, ganyan.
Yeah.
And then the words come. I like to do it as it goes. I'm not like a chorus first, verse first.
Yeah.
No, I've never done chorus first. That scares me.
Chorus first?
Yeah, I can't. I cannot.
So if you ever write lyrics first, you start with like a verse.
I
Talaga.
really start with a verse.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then I figure out a chorus later on.
Yeah.
I'm such a feelings person that I have a difficult time just having to like think through art. Because some people really have like a structure, diba? And it works for them. They're really good. Like it's super good. Like there's still a lot of emotion involved. But I can't do that. It's just not my style.
Right.
So some people kasi they're very intentional talaga. Like, okay, I'm gonna think of a hook first.
Yeah.
Diba? So they like think of a hook first, think of a chorus, and then they write the verses depending on the chorus.
Yeah.
Not even. I don't do that.
That only shows that it's possible to write like flowy from your heart.
Yeah.
And then produce a successful song out of it.
Yeah. I just do a lot of editing after.
That's true. Yeah.
Basically, I flow. It's like making a first draft and then editing so heavily it becomes a final output.
That's cool. That's cool.
I'm more of like that. I'd rather flow. It stresses me out way less. You know, it's less pressure. And then I go back to it when I really want to think about it. Yeah.
What's your dream?
My dream? People keep asking me that. It's like stressful. No. My dream is that my music becomes such an important part of people's lives. And I want to be able to give it on a stage, on different platforms. You know, I think I have this like dream of doing so many things that just involve, you know, concert, touring, you know, things like that. Releasing, being able to collaborate with people, and yeah, I think that's I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there any like immediate next steps? Like, I mean, in the year, baka you have a plan?
At the moment, I'm planning to release Paboritong Kaibigan next.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, awesome.
So it's gonna be fun.
Have you recorded it na?
We're planning pa.
Okay,
we're planning
cool.
pa. But we're talking now. So that's another step. I want to release an EP. I don't know if that's feasible this year. Baka early next year na. So those are more steps. I make sure also to make content. Kasi, you know, that's another thing I like to do. I realized na parang, okay, yeah, I have my music side, but I also enjoy the whole social media platform. And so I make sure that I'm still very much active and try to share as much as I'd like to share online. And practical steps, I don't know yet. I'm at a point where actually I'm trying to figure out more practical steps. Kasi it's one thing to keep releasing. To keep releasing is almost bare minimum in terms of music kasi in a music career. Like, they always, my teachers, my profs, all the talks I've heard, they're always like, you have to keep putting out music. Yun. Like, at the end of the day, even if hindi pumatok tong song at this point, it might be something not just now. You know, there's so many songs, especially with TikTok na.
Yeah, right.
they were made like so many years ago, but because somebody picked this up, they're everybody now knows. So there's so many stories like that. And so my profs are always like, in our industry, it's all about output. It's all about output talaga. Like when labels look at you, they look at your output. What have you released? Right? When clients hire you, it's what have you released? So at the end of the day, parang it's really just, if you want to pursue music, just keep releasing. Kahit nga hindi siya super professionally made. People are not choosy, Or like the ano now, people would rather something authentic kasi.
Yeah.
I realize now, and people like being part of the process.
Yep.
And the journey. And I think that's super cool that you get to do as an artist. So like when I do social media, I get to bring people along the journey beyond just the release. So it's nice. It's really nice.
If there's one thing I'm sure of, it's that every song that you put out there is a story. Parang we already talked about, like, you already have your own person. Like when you bring a song to editing and production, mixing, mastering, that's because you are already happy with it as a song, even for yourself. And as long as you've got that integrity and you're true to yourself in the way that you express your craft, there's gonna be so many people who are gonna resonate with that, I'm sure.
I hope so.
So where can people find you online?
You guys can check out my Spotify. It's just Cami, Cami.
Awesome.
So it's like a lot of Camis there. So you can look for like When I Fall by Cami or Una At Huli. My social media, it's Cami Dominic _ for all of it. So yeah.
For all the aspiring musicians out there, what's one thing you wish someone told you when you were at that point?
I think I wish someone told me that I didn't have to be good enough. Because that was a lot of pressure. I think there's so many good artists out there. There's so many talented people. There's so much pressure to be better or like to be like them, or there's just so much people to compare to. And I wish somebody told me that I didn't have to, and that that you could take steps without having to prove anything, and just come from a place where you're already loved.
Thank you. I will.
Because that's something I think I finally found courage when I realized that I was already loved without my songs have been heard by anybody. That I was already worth something before I even pursued anything. I could only take those steps because I finally knew that I was okay even without the success, even without like tangible things that I could take from, take affirmation from. And to have that be your launching point is super important in my opinion, kasi it's a difficult industry. It's really difficult. Like in any industry, there's so much competition, there's so much comparison. Not everybody's gonna appreciate what you do, and there will be a lot of judgment. And so if you could like find security before you even make that step, and make the step from that security, yes, please do. Like that's like the one thing I want to urge, like people who are pursuing music, find your rock, kind of find your purpose, your rock, your security. Make steps from there. Find your courage from there.
Thanks, Cami.
Of
This
course.
is a wonderful conversation.
Yes.
Stream Una At Huli. Watch out for Paboritong Kaibigan, and then check out the rest of her Spotify and social media. It's awesome. It comes from a really good place. Cheers, guys.